movies, and if this is the one that you started off with, awesome. If this is the one that made you be like, I'm done with this series, I can't anymore, I actually understand. That's valid. So
that might be me. That might be me, honestly.
Until we're here next year again, though, unfortunately. What is up, Drive-By Movies here, and you are watching
Fresh Releases.
My name is James.
My name's Blaise.
And it's a new year, it's a new Halloween, so we're checking out the new series entry into VHS Halloween.
He's looking at me. Oh my god.
VHS Halloween is the 8th installment in the VHS series and the 5th released exclusively on Shudder. So this is a film we've been watching these movies, I'd say, ever since they were released, but this is, we've checked out all of them on Shudder here and reviewed them on the show, but this is probably getting pretty grating here because I feel like the last maybe 3 episodes of this series, we've been just saying like, all right, when are they going to stop making these? And I feel the same way about this one. I'm like, all right, when are they going to stop making these movies? Although I will say this is probably one of the better entries in the VHS series, but it's just the series has been going on too long that it's just getting very, very samey.
Dang, so you've lost hope at this point. But last year was the first year where I think I complained because if you look back on all our reviews, I'm pretty sure I've enjoyed most of them or had something to where, all right, that made it worth checking out. Versus last year was the first one where I was just like, I couldn't get into any of them. Like maybe 2 of them I did. Or maybe it was the one from 2 years ago. I can't remember. But this one is the one for me that I feel like is one of the best entries. I think honestly this is probably either my second or third favorite out of all of them. I've already watched it 3 times, which is surprising. Only one of them I find to be very dull, and surprisingly it comes from the director I had the highest hopes for. But yeah, interested to hear more of your thoughts going into these. I know that it took quite the journey to finish this, and luckily it was a watch from home on Shudder release for you, so that probably helped out.
Yeah, this is one where every time I just put it on, I would immediately just doze off into slumberland, but I don't know why. It just seems like, I think it's because I've seen so many VHS movies at this point, like it's surprising because this movie, like all of them feel very, like, I wouldn't say original, they're all formulaic, but at least like the concept of like either the creature or whatever special effects like seem kind of like original in that sense. But when this has already been done so many times, there's probably, well, if there's 8 movies and there's like 5 shorts per movie, like come on, that's so many shorts that have been created for this that everything's just gonna feel very formulaic and like samey, which I feel like these are the most well done, but they still enter that like pantheon of VHS movies that just look the same. I will say I think my favorite is probably your least favorite. That's the vibe I'm getting. Really? I think my favorite was Alex Ross Perry's Kid Print. I don't know if that's the one you disliked, I'm guessing.
No, that's actually my favorite of the series,
okay, all right. Paco Plazas.
From what I've read online, though, most people hate them. But yes, you guessed it. Yeah, my most hated.
I actually liked, I was going to say Paco Plazas was probably my number 2 for this. And all the rest I would just rank kind of in the same spot where like they're better for a VHS short, but when they were all in the same movie, that's why it was bad for me. It's because they're all like the baby one or the like adult baby movie was just weird, but it was too much like the one from I think it was the last movie, like that I think kicks it off too, where it's like people in a haunted house and there's like a bird creature. It's like this too much of the same thing. Like it's like basically the same exact movie.
I totally get that, and also it just feels something straight out of Barbarian almost too.
Yeah.
Like, I will give it credit for being one of the more grossest ones and just like some of the most creepiest imagery out of the bunch. Just because I still have that image of this mommy in the doorway, and then also when they first reveal her inside the house, where she's like sideways at a weird angle, hanging onto the side of the wall. That was like nightmare injecting fuel right there. To where I got creeped out. But I'd say, yeah, even though that one's probably the most fun out of the bunch, that one and the haunted house one towards the end, they are your cliche jump scare movies, but they're just fun to watch, and they're the reason why you have a horror Halloween party and watch spooky movies together. Like, these are the two style shorts that just work well, I thought.
I think, though, I feel like all these filmmakers that are added on to make like a VHS style short or a VHS, be part of a new VHS anthology, it feels like they all latch on to like their favorite VHS movie and try and just like recreate it with a new copy pasta, essentially, demon or monster or whatever. And it just feels like it could be the exact same movie from another VHS movie, essentially. Like, it never feels original. I feel like the reason Kid Print stuck out was because it was a more documentary approach. It's my favorite, and I don't know if it doesn't feel like an Alex Ross Perry movie, obviously, but it's just because it feels like an actual time capsule of, a previous time, where the others could take place in any time. The time isn't really necessary for them to be in the movie. But yeah, I think that's what made that one my favorite, I think. But yeah, like the others, it just feels like it's like we've reached this formula of like, all right, every VHS movie needs to be what was the first radio silence like everyone's just trying to recreate that short, basically, it feels like.
Yeah definitely, because that one's like the most fun, and is definitely one of the highest regarded entries in all of them. Now they're also part of the biggest director duos out there in the horror genre as well too. But yeah, Alex Ross Perry, we love The Color Wheel, a movie that we checked out a long time ago back in our podcast days. It was one of my favorite films when the year it came out. And just, it was kind of weird to bring him into the VHS franchise so late. And I'm not sure if he's actually ever done a horror film. Like, he's collaborated with so many filmmakers, people like Joe Swanberg, people like Adam Wingard, who have, or maybe not Adam Wingard, but I'm pretty sure him and Joe Swanberg have collaborated at a certain point. And just like, I know Joe has done a VHS film. It's just weird this late in the game to get someone back from the mumblecore scene back into the series. But his stuck out also just because his felt the most authentic. I thought I was watching real tapes, and there is some ridiculousness towards the end of it, but it's the most uncomfortable of the bunch. Like, all these are fun shorts. Even though I had the least fun with Paco Plaza's, like, at least it still has your like, yeah, moment. And also shout out, we just watched The Grandmother recently, and it was the lead actress in that movie plays one of the detectives in his short in VHS, Ut Supra Sic Infra. I know you can't say it 3 times, but yeah, just Kid Print just really stuck out of just, it's the first one since the very first VHS movie where I had that sense of dread and I felt the need to pause, and I just felt sick because it felt like I was watching something real. A lot of the VHS movies have gone more fun and they're just entertaining, but I always remember the first one, like just after Adam Wingard's short, and how real and rapey it was, and just how disgusting it was to watch these assaults happen, and then go into the Succubus one by I believe David Bruckner is his name.
David Bruckner,
yeah. Just that one also, even though it's, a crazy mythological creature, it just felt so real and authentic and slimy and disgusting watching that short. And I remember having to pause that movie, and Alex Ross Perry brought back that feeling again of just watching these poor kids suffer in his short. I agree with you. I think like he had the most heart. His short had the most heart compared to like the original VHS. Like when I think of VHS, I definitely only really think of VHS 1 and VHS 2. I enjoyed VHS Viral because I saw it in theaters, but that definitely lost the secret sauce that the originals had. And there's been good shorts throughout the years from different VHS movies, but you're right, it's kind of lost the whole vibe of, and I think it's because they never picked up
the wraparound segment now is honestly just another short, and honestly I feel like it honestly drags most of the movies because it's not, you know, adding on to some greater story or something that you can take between each movie. All the movies are standalone now, and the wraparound is standalone as itself. So I feel like if this had a wraparound that did wrap the actual tapes around and somebody finding the tapes or something, I know it would be so like pointless at this point in time because we've already done that whole story, but it just feels like there needs to be some reason for the tapes. Otherwise, what's the point of it even being a VHS movie, really? Like, it feels like that's really the problem with VHS.
Yeah, I remember someone making a joke back on Twitter a long time ago when the second movie came out. Everyone was saying they should change it to G period O period P period R period O period GoPro, the movie, basically, just because all of those were shot on GoPros. Even specifically, I remember the zombie one segment in VHS 2. It's literally just a guy biking in the forest and a GoPro. And it's just like, who's uploaded this onto VHS tapes? But the lore of it was still fun when those movies were the wraparounds, because they made it make sense why they were put on VHS tapes, at least. But yeah, at this point, it's just like they don't care. And so, like, if you don't care, what's the point over the wraparound story? Like, I still love these movies and I'm still having fun. I'm glad that this one made me excited for another one inevitably next year. Like, I won't be upset if they ever take a break, but I mean, I think this one's generating a decent amount of hype. So we'll see if we do get another.
Yeah, I will say, like, if you have Shudder or if you've been interested in the VHS, or maybe you've even tuned out of the VHS movies, this is probably the best one of the 5 that got released on Shudder, because there's definitely been a lot of good shorts in the movies overall. Like, you know, at least one a year there was one good one. You know, usually there's probably at least 2, but this one, at least a lot of them are probably pretty decent if you haven't seen the rest of the VHS movies.
Right, yeah. If you're going to start out in any of the Shudder ones, I'd say go for this one. I'm not even sure if the first 2 are on Shudder currently. Those ones I'm always seeing on the most random apps. Like, one day it'll be on Netflix, one day it'll be on Tubi, one day it'll be on Shudder, then the next day it'll be on Freevee on Amazon or something. But yeah, these are fun movies, and if this is the one that you started off with, awesome. If this is the one that made you be like, I'm done with this series, I can't anymore, I actually understand. That's valid. So
that might be me.
Yeah, let us.
That might be me, honestly.
Until we're here next year again, though, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a tradition. Happy spooky season, everyone. Great way to help support this show. You can still rent it through our Amazon affiliate link in our description box below. Also, keep the conversation going. Leave a comment telling us what you thought about the movie.
And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and click that notification bell to get all of our latest updates.
Oh, and speaking of updates, catch all our social media links down below. We got Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, as well as our own personal letterbox accounts. That's it for this week. Tune in next week for a brand new video.